Um, Hi, welcome to the latest class in our Spring into Creativity series. This series is funded by a grant from the LSTA, Library Services and Technology Act, and it's administered by the California State Library. These programs will continue through May, and to sign up, you go to our library website, look at the calendar of events, and click on the program you want to sign up for. And we'll send you a Zoom and give you information on picking up the art kits. And as Carolyn said, these programs will be recorded and you can view them again on YouTube if you miss something and you want to go back and re-look at what the instructor did. And the surveys, if you could fill out a survey after this class, I'll send you the link. And I believe the surveys are also on our website under the class program. So I am going to turn off my camera after this, and I will let our instructor take over. And our instructor today is our very own Carrie Meyerop. She's our part-time librarian, and she's also very artistic and creative. And you could catch her sometimes doing story times for children. And for now, she's going to be taking over on this diamond painting class, which I'm really interested in this because I never even heard of diamond painting before. So Carrie, if you want to take over and explain everything, and I'll see you at the end.
Hi, welcome everybody. All right, so when I first got started in diamond painting, it was obviously the virus just hit. We all shut down. And I wanted to find something to do at home. I had no idea what it was. And when I started looking at it all, it was so confusing. It felt like I put diamond painting in and you'd come up with a kit and there would be 100 accessories to go with it. And I thought, I can't do this. So I went ahead, ordered a kit, and from there I started watching videos on different types of accessories and what you really need. Of course, I went a little overboard on some things, but you got to have some fun. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to go over a lot of the accessories, and there's an optional accessory list that was on the website. You do not need any of this at all. This is completely up to you if you want to invest in a little bit more. Some of these things make my life a little bit easier when I'm doing these kits. And I've probably done about 20 to 25 different types of paintings and kits. And we'll cover that a little bit too, because there's some things I would not recommend. Okay, so the first thing we're going to start with, one of the things that I absolutely love is light. The more light, the better. I can see better. I have 3 different sizes of lights. This is a pretty small one. I do some small kits. We have a medium size. So you guys can kind of see the difference between the sizes here. My favorite, however, is this large one. I can do pretty much everything with this large one. On the side, there's a button, turn it on. It has 3 different settings. So depending upon how you and where you're working, will depend upon if you want more light or less light. Oh, that kind of lit me up there. So that is lights, and you'll see that on the accessory. That's one of like the first 3 things that I had put on there. They're not that, they can be expensive. They can run from about $17 up to about $60. I want to say this one right here was about $45. It does come, or you can order, I don't think this one came with it. You can order a, actually, I think this did come with it. It's just something to put it on. You can make it any height you want. So if you happen to be working on the couch and you have a laptop, I say organizer, you can put it right on top. That's solid. You put that on top, put this on top, put your painting, you're ready to go. I actually happen to love listening to music while I'm doing this. All right, things that are nice to have, you don't need. I know this might seem silly. This is a roller. When a painting is done, or when you're in the middle of a painting, you can literally just roll. It helps push everything down. You don't need it. I have a couple of friends who literally sleep on their diamond painting. And what I mean is they put it between their mattresses, sleep for the night, and pull it out the next day. You can do whatever you want to. Books, put books on top of it, push it down. You really only need one book, put it on top, push, push, and all the beads will settle. Another nice thing to always have, I would recommend this, just a pair of scissors around. I usually go with a small pair. The reason why is when you go to do the beads, and we'll talk about the beads in a second, if you have a really good set, and the one that we're going to be looking at today is really good, the containers are really easy to open. The plastic is really easy to open. The sets that are a little iffy, the plastic is not as good to open, and so you really want to cut it and then pour your beads. So I'd always have a pair of scissors. Another nice thing to have, permanent marker. And in a minute, you'll see why. Just a permanent marker, something you have at home. It's easy. Okay, so why a permanent marker? When we go to do the beads, this is another option, and I have a lot of these. These are little containers. This is on that list too. You can pull 4 out at a time. They are attached. I do number them. And that way, when you're working, you can pull a small amount out, what you need. You can pour it into the green cup that everybody got today. And when you're done, you pour it back in. It keeps everything organized and makes it so it doesn't fall everywhere. There are 2 ways to mark. We'll go over that in a few minutes. This is marked 1 through 13. I had 13 different beads. And there's a reason why I had to mark it 1 through 13. We'll see that in one moment. So I would recommend these. The one I am actually using for today, for us later, is this big one. See, oops, open it the right way. Ah. All right. So I did this. I start with 1. Now these are listed the way that actually the side says. So we have 30, I think it's 25, sorry, 25 different beads that you have with your kit. Number 1 is number 1, number 2 goes to number 7, number 8 says the letter A, and then goes all the way through V. There's certain letters they don't use. It's really hard to print those letters up, so you'll see that. It was easy to do this. So for today, this is why I did this. I put all my extras, I have them marked up here, and you will need those. Sometimes, like for the black, I have actually 3 spots dedicated for just the black. So you will need those. All right. The other thing you get with your kit is what they call a pen or a pencil. It looks kind of weird. The first time I ever did a diamond painting, I made it so hard on myself. I had absolutely no idea really how to use this other than you're supposed to put the gem on it and then transfer it over. Well, nobody told me about the wax. So everybody should have a green cup, wax, and a pen. This is all you need to do your diamond painting. On the other hand, because I kind of go extreme, this is my pen. So it's a lot thicker, a lot easier for me to use. Sometimes the arthritis in my hand through here, I can't hold little things as easily. So I love the big ones. You can also buy tips. Again, what you have on here is perfectly fine. You don't need anything else. I know I'm going to keep stressing that because I want you to know that these can be really inexpensive to do, especially if you get one for a kid. That's really nice. On the other hand, oops, wrong way. I'm going to get this. Ha! I don't know if you guys can see how big, how wide that is. It goes all the way across. When you're doing a row, let's say you have a row of 8 to 10, you put the end of this into the wax, pick up 8 to 10 beads. I'll show you how to do that. And you plug it in. So you don't have to do one bead at a time. So some of these areas will have 10 to 20 like spots right in a row. This is so much easier to do that with. The last thing that I would recommend, well, not the last, but close. But one of the last things I would definitely recommend, a pair of tweezers, something you guys probably have at home. Just a pair of tweezers. A lot of these things I'm sure people have at home. These ones happen to be bent. It's easy to pick one up if you've made a mistake and kind of move it over or kind of push it up without trying to get your hands in there or anything else. So tweezers are really nice to have. Again, not needed. Fingernails are good. All right, last thing you will see with your kit, sometimes you will get these little bags, and I think in our kit we did, okay? Get these little plastic bags. So there's 2 ways to do your diamond painting. The first way is to, if you don't have any of these containers, okay, you can actually just open the first one that you're doing. Let's say you're going to do the black one, and that's number 1. What you're going to do is you're going to go across your whole screen and you're going to look for every number 1, and that's what you're going to do first. Then when you're done with that, you go to number 2. One of my daughters prefers that. Actually, both of my daughters got into diamond painting. One prefers to have a container. The other one prefers to do 1 bag at a time. Your preference, whatever you're more comfortable with. And this is so much easier than, I promise this is really easy. All right, a couple of things I would really recommend. One is they have tape. What this helps with is you unroll it, you put it on the side. You will notice that there is plastic. Keep the plastic on your painting. You will notice that there is plastic. Actually, I'm going to put this one on right now because I'm going to kind of finish this one so you guys can kind of see when it's already finished. Let me turn the light on. In a regular one, you will feel that the sides all the way around a bit sticky. Sometimes it's easier to put tape. So if you want to put your hand down, then you don't have to worry. This one is not sticky. This one is the only parts that are sticky is actually where the beads actually are. The other thing I want to talk about real quick is there are 2 types. Or actually there's kind of 3 types, but the 2 types I'm talking about today. One is different size beads. So I'm going to hold this up to the camera and hopefully you guys can see there are different size beads. There's not just the small ones that we're going to be working with for this diamond painting. This one actually happens to need large size beads. And so I kind of like to mix it up a little bit. Sometimes this one took me about 2 hours to do altogether. And again, it's outlining the flowers. It's not doing every single spot, and that's why. So what I'm going to do real quick to show you guys, I put plastic on to make sure that the sticky parts stayed sticky. Oh, there we go. So I talked a little bit earlier about the ones that we're doing. I went ahead and on the side, the symbol corresponds with the letter and with the number and what bead you're going to look at. With this particular one, I want to be able to show you guys. you will see next to the number, the symbols are like this triangle thing, this circle thing, this square thing, and it's yellow and it's pink. And I'm not going to draw that out. So I just went 1 through 13. So for this one, the nose happens to be number 5. One of the reasons why I wanted to show you this was because regardless of the size of the bead, your pen and your wax should work. You shouldn't need like a whole big thing. All right, so this is number 5. And you can see it's got a little bit bigger. And all you have to do is just place it right on there. You can adjust it. It doesn't dry, like it's not immediately stuck. So if you need to adjust it, it is really easy to adjust it. The other thing I want to tell you guys, this is yours. Like when you create something, it's yours. If you don't like a color, change it up. I have changed a couple of colors here and there because I didn't think that it looked right. So I went ahead and I actually changed a couple of colors and used a different one. It just to me looked so much better. So I really like that. So tonight I'll finish the rest. It's just these little beads, and that's going to probably be number 6. Just so you guys can see the size of the beads. Oops, there we go. There we go. Oh, I dropped it. The advantage to working with one of these, if you drop something, that little thing usually catches it. If you need more, and anytime you need more wax, just use more wax. With the bigger ones, you need more wax often. With the smaller ones, you can go sometimes 10 to 15 times without needing one. And that's all you do, just like that. So you guys can see the difference in the sizes. And these are just fun. If you have someone who's just starting out, especially if they're younger, you can go ahead and get them something like that. That doesn't seem so big. They won't feel like I can't do this. It's something smaller. All right, I'm gonna turn this off for 1 second. All right, 2 more recommendations, especially if you have a little one. So maybe that will work. Huh? All right, turn that on for a second. This, let's see. This is a book. If you have a kid who wanted to start a journal, or maybe you're doing a book club. I still am involved with the elementary school, and we still do some book club stuff. I help out. This is a great fun thing for them to do. Write in. This one happens to be plain. These are fun, and these are great for kids. It's not too much work, and it goes quite quickly. What I don't recommend, and I bought these. This is really, I love it. It's really cool. It's a bookmark. If you think about it, it's a bead. You get a whole bunch of beads on a bookmark. And of course you shut the book and you come back and your book is all bubbly. So I wouldn't recommend the bookmark. It doesn't quite work. It's a great idea, just doesn't work. All right, last suggestion. I'm going to show you. I sometimes work, if we're watching TV as a family, I will work in the dark, kind of. I will turn this on and whatnot. But if it's late at night, I love this thing. This is just a light. It has a basic light source. Let's see. There we go. But also, as you turn it, it has a magnifying glass. This I use for my crafts. My husband builds airplanes. He uses this. So we all use this for different. I also do embroidery and cross stitch. This is great for that. If you are doing, and we're having card making next week, if you have small, tiny pieces in card making and you have something in a, you're trying to put something on with a pair of tweezers, couldn't think of what the tweezer's name was. Having something that you can, you know, really magnify on is great. This one cost me, I want to say $17 on Amazon. Beautiful thing is you can, there's this little switch. You can turn down the light to how low you need it, how high you need it. Also, this is kind of like a yellow light. You can do more, this is more actually yellow. That was more clear. This one, really yellow. Kind of a blue and then clears up. A little bit more of a yellow and a more yellow. So depending upon where you're working and how you're working, these are great. All of these are optional. Please remember that these are all optional. You don't need any of these. But I wanted to give you guys an idea, because when you go on and you look on some of these sites, it's like crazy the amount of stuff they have. And people feel like they have to really invest in things. And you really, you don't have to have a lot of stuff. What we have today is more than enough. All right, so let's go ahead, get started. Oops, oh, my light went on. Yes, I did it the right way. All right, so the first thing, if you guys do not have any of the stuff set up, don't worry about it. You can do this. I did this one right here. I did this one literally on a book. I had a book. I just got a Nora Roberts book in, and happened to be sitting there. I got that in, and I just opened one packet at a time, and I just started going for it. And I literally did it on the book. So you could do it anywhere. Any flat surface is great. So first thing that I always recommend, don't take the plastic off. I can't stress that enough. There's a way that we're going to use the plastic that will really help save the stickiness. The first thing I always do is I literally just clip these to the surface I'm working on, if I'm working on a solid surface like this. And I just have big clips. I happen to have these in my office, and I just use them. All right, so the first thing that I would always recommend, and that's why we have scissors here, you can cut this however many times you want, the plastic. You can do it in half. You can do it 4 times, 3 times. What I recommend is that you cut it however you want to. I will probably do this probably in 3 times. The reason why is, show you, I just take it and I just cut it straight up like this. Let's go back down this way. All right, now the reason why is because then you have the opportunity to pull this up wherever you happen to be working, and you can just then push it up, and now you have a small area you're working on that's really sticky. And you're not, if you want to put your hand down, you're putting your hand on the plastic. You're not putting your hand on the sticky stuff and keeping your hand stuck. This will save you a lot of time. So the first thing I always do is I always put this up, get this set up. I cut the plastic. This one I will cut in 3 ways. Just like this. It's really easy, just a good pair of scissors and just cut all the way up. That's it. That's all you have to do. Now, if you guys are just going to take one at a time, and I know I put them somewhere around here. If you're just going to take one at a time, I'd go ahead and take whichever bag you would like. There is a lot of black. So let's go ahead and start with the black, which is number 1. So I would go ahead, grab your bag, and I just tear it off. Literally, just tear it off of the package. So is there anybody who did not get, you should have in your kit, you should have your beads, you should have your little green cup, you should have your pen, and you should have your wax. Those are the main 4 things that I think came with it. Okay, so go ahead and just tear it off. And that way you have that bag. Aha. I like how they come in a bag, come in a bag, come in a bag. All right. So literally, this is a really good set because you can literally just take it and just tear it like this and you're done. Tear it and cut the edge. The next thing I would do, take your green cup. Simple as that. I'm gonna open mine. And just pour some in. If for some reason you're pouring this in and a bunch falls, what I have found is tape is the best. Just tape. It will just pick it up quickly. You will also notice sometimes the beads get, even a brand new set, you'll have a mixture. Sometimes a bead from like number 2 or number 3 will get into your first one or your second one. Just put it off to the side. All right, now that you have your cup, the trick, shake your cup. This is really important. You're going to shake your cup because what's going to happen is the beads are going to land upright and they're going to land in these little rows. So if you want to do 5 at one time, this is how you do 5 because they're already in a row. So just shake it out, put it in a row. Your next big thing is to take your wax, open it up. It should be covered with plastic on either side. You're just going to take the tip of your pen and just push it in. That's it. That's all you need to do. The next thing you want to do is go ahead, you just grab one. You just stick it in, grab one, find the number 1, and you just stick it on. That is it. Now, I know that you have your first one done. You're like, yeah, this is going to take 20 hours. It's going to take a while. However, if you do a little bit at a time, and kind of like concentrate on one section at a time, it's not as overwhelming, you know, and do it at a time when you're relaxed, when you have time and you're just relaxed and you're not worried about anything. That's all you do. You just start picking them up one at a time and just applying it to wherever there's a black.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course.
Oh, so I do have one little black on the tip, but when I look at the, there are letters where the black goes.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't correspond to anything on this little color chart on the slide.
So this is where, yeah, you have to start looking at, this is where it gets really confusing. All right. Okay. So when you look at the alphabet, you'll notice that there's no I. Correct?
Okay.
Okay. That's because anything that looks like an I is actually a 1.
Oh.
That's why the numbers only go to 7. It will not go to 8 because then 8 and B would look a lot alike.
I have a question too.
Yeah.
I noticed that the beads are sided so that there's a diamond side and then there's a flat side. Is there a secret to getting the right side on the pen, or you just have to move it around?
I just move, I mean, literally just move like this and just shake it. And they usually end up all upright because the bottom of the tray is actually flat. So the flat generally goes to the flats.
Okay.
Yep.
So you pick it up with the hopefully the sparkly side that goes into here and the flat side is here. So you're going to put the flat side down.
And you put the flat side down, yes.
Yeah. I think I need better glasses.
You know, I have these. I usually don't wear glasses, these magnify things. And then
Oh,
I have my magnifying light that I showed you guys earlier.
light, yeah.
So black is kind of hard to see, but once I get into the center with the yellow, with the C and with the B's here in the center, for me, I can definitely see that. The other thing I can do is I can turn up my light. This is why I like this light so much. I can turn up my light and get a better view from underneath. It brings everything forward.
Oh, the light. And how often do you put the pen into the wax?
I mean, I could go as low as 7 times. I mean, I could put 7 on before I do it. And I can go as sometimes, depending upon the quality of the wax, I can go up to 15 times putting stuff on. So, and I know this little square doesn't look like much, but I have yet to have a painting that I have used all the wax.
Really?
Yeah.
So, question about the wax. Oh, sorry. I noticed when I pushed down at first, it didn't do much, and then the second time I pushed down, I took out a big chunk.
Yeah.
Is that not? You're not supposed to take out a big chunk, are you?
Can you see mine?
Oh,
let's see. Look at mine.
Because that means I'd be done with this in a minute, I think, if I keep taking out.
You would think, but after, I mean, for that big chunk, I can do a lot too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible how much actually with the wax you can get done. Now, let's see, I have so many pens, it's ridiculous. I even have one, I don't know what I did with it. That again, we have a lot of family with us right now. And so sometimes we all gather in one room, and I really love to do diamond painting. I have a pen that not only do I have this light here, but when I push this down, there's a light at the end of this pen.
Oh, nice.
So I can really see it will direct straight onto there. So sometimes if they're too little for you, this whole pen was maybe, I want to say $12, and came with a ton of different, I don't think you guys can see that well. Oh, there we go. How about this? There we go. And then I just turn it on, and there's a light there at the end. And I really do love these. It's again, something that just helps. I have done a lot of these, so I want to make sure that I have the tools needed. So this has been investing in over a year now. So that's why I have so much stuff.
Carrie, I wish we had done this in the beginning of the pandemic. Because I think it would have taken me a year to finish this.
Okay, so I started one, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. I started one April, and we left at the beginning of June for the baby. So I finished this before, I know I finished it before my grandson was born. So I started this in April, so I was done mid-May maybe. And I took my time. I really enjoyed it. I didn't rush this, but it might have taken about a month completely to finish this. So this is the one we're doing right now. Hold on, I'm gonna roll this down. This is the one that I finished. So very similar to what we're doing now. This one, I did not have the bigger back of the pen to actually put the beads on. So I learned with this one that there is the opportunity to have the bigger pieces. And we'll talk about this one in a minute, because when we go to talk about how you finish one of these up and what you do, there's some yays and nays you definitely want to do. Let's see. All right. If you happen to have, so this is the big piece on the back, you're just going to, again, put the whole thing into the wax. Just the whole thing.
Are you saying rack, R-A-C-K?
Oh, no, sorry, wax.
Wax. And how does that work again?
Okay, so here's the back of it.
Yeah.
Okay, this happens to be a tool that I invested in. I got the whole kit for $6.99 on Amazon, and it just had a bunch of these in it. So you're gonna just push it into your wax, pull it out. You can see on the back, it's pink. Then what you do is just shake your tray again, and then look for a lot of the beads that are together, and you're just gonna push down.
Is that larger than this thing? Is that what it is? It's like this?
This, yes. So this one, let me show you. Size difference. Most likely we got this size right here. This is this one.
Mhm.
So you can see the difference. It's a whole lot bigger. Then what I would do, so it doesn't really matter. That's the beauty of this. It doesn't matter how this goes on. So we have all these ones right here on the side. I would just go here, place it, and put them all on. I just did a row of 8 right down there. So this will go a lot faster than you think. Down the center, we have the light post. All of that could be done with one of these, whether it's the I and on the other color looks like it's a U. You just put the whole thing on and you'll go really fast. You don't have to do this one by one. But at the same time, I wanted to make sure you guys knew that you don't have to buy anything. You can if you want to, or use the littler one, which is totally fine. I was doing that big one, and I've done a couple of large ones that I wanted to make sure that I had kind of like that tool to make sure that I could get it kind of done. The other thing to do is to make sure that you go back and just make sure that they're straight. I saw a couple on a channel once where she wasn't quite watching what she was doing, and half the beads were kind of offset a little bit, and you could really tell.
I have a question.
Yes.
I'm not sure, is the pen that we got in the set has a small end and then a wider end. Is that wider end what
So,
you took
yes, the wider end
of the
right
one
here.
that we got in the kit? Look at the one we got in the kit.
Let's see where
The
did
pen,
mine
the
go?
pen.
Right, the pen. I'm looking for the pen that's in your guys' kit. Ha. Okay.
What
This
is
is a
there's a
sorry.
thin end, there's an end that's got a a metal
Yes.
tip.
Right here. It's this is the pen that's similar to you guys. This just happens to be another kit that I got today, but it's thin like this one.
Yeah.
Yes, you can do that. Same thing. You put that end again in the wax, and that
Okay.
will pick up about 4 or 5.
Okay, put it in the wax.
Yep, put it in the wax. You're gonna have a
Okay.
big line in the wax.
Okay.
So just like this, just put it in the wax.
Okay, I see. It does pick it up. Yes.
Yep, and then you just go in there, pick up a few. This one I
I
happen to get 5.
Okay, I get it. I
Put
didn't
it
know
up.
if I didn't know if that was the same thing. Okay, I get only 3, but on mine.
This
3
is
is all that fits.
practice.
3 is all that fits.
Right. Yeah, no, this just happens to be a lot of practice.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay.
Now, for those of you, I don't know if any of you guys do cross stitching or if any of you guys do needlepoint. embroidery, anything else like that. If you do, so if, let's say if you do cross stitching, and let's say you want this picture right here, and you want to copy this and make it a cross stitch instead. Say you have all the supplies. You have the DMC floss, you have the cloth. I would definitely recommend between a 16 and a 22 on the cloth because you want it a little bit more fine. If you use a 10 or a 12, you're going to get really big squares. Here's the nice thing. You can take a picture of this, or you can even scan this if you have a large enough printer. But you can take a picture of this, scan this into your computer, make a copy of it and a print of it. If you look on the side, you will see, oops, sorry, turn that off. You will see, okay, number 1 is, okay, then your black sign is number 1. Next to that is DMC. That is the color of the DMC floss, 310.
Oh,
That's what those numbers are. So if you want to do this as a cross stitch, there's all the DMC floss you would need. And then you can just take a picture of this. You can scan this in. You can make your own printout. And again, I would recommend a 16 to maybe a 2022 for the cloth because you kind of want it a little bit small. Does that make sense to everybody?
not if you don't do cross stitch, yeah.
If you don't do cross stitch, yes, I get it.
Yeah.
The other thing that I did buy, because yes, I do cross stitch, I love cross stitch, is this. It is a huge case. When I get done with any of the cross stitch, any of the diamond paintings that have the DMC floss number, I put them in here. So you can see right here, I have all the numbers listed.
Oh,
And I have a whole bunch left. And then what I can do is if I have the same number here as here, I can just combine the beads. It's going to be the same color. And that's another way to save your beads if you want to save your beads. Otherwise, I've had a couple of kits where I know I'm never going to use the beads again. I've donated to a teacher at one of the schools they can use for crafts. So there's all kinds of little things that you guys can do with the beads to just save them and maybe donate them. How's everybody doing?
It occurs to me that I have a lot of little pill boxes that have
Yep.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday that I could be using in the meanwhile, I think. To save.
You know, dollar store.
Mm.
Dollar store has all these great little pill boxes. You go in there, you buy 5 of them. That's $5. And then you can grab, I'm just going to throw that over there. I have little stickers. I have square and I have round. And if you want, I mean, again, dollar store carries things like that. You buy one, you can put number 1 on it, number 2, and then just stick it over all the different pill box, you know, Monday through Friday. And then you have your set ready to go. Again, I know that some of these places really want you guys to like invest and buy a lot of their stuff. There's so many other places, and dollar store, I love dollar store, is you can get all this stuff and not have to worry about it. Dottie, do you have a question?
Yes, I do. Thank you. I don't have, all I have is an open container that I need to tape up. Is that the best thing to do?
I would either tape up, if you have any plastic bags.
Well, is that what this little plastic bag? Oh,
That's, yes. So if you have these little plastic bags, the biggest thing that I would do, again, why you want the permanent marker, put on here, number 1.
okay.
Just so you have it on there. And I kind of happen to be working on 4 different diamond paintings right now. I like to switch it up. So I have different containers that sometimes I have to make sure that I also mark on your bag, on my bag, if I happen to put it in a bag, what diamond painting it is. So I'd put owl on here so I know it was the owl diamond painting.
Oops.
Again, remember that when these get stuck on here, you can move them. I've moved them 2 days later. I just had to kind of push it off. It was still sticky enough. And I was able to adjust it because I realized I had really messed up one. So don't worry about if it's not quite right. You can always go back and adjust it if you need to. And again, any kind of tweezers is great for that. And most likely people have a lot of tweezers at home.
Oops. Oops.
Guys feel overwhelmed yet?
No.
And again,
No, it's
the
good.
whole,
It's very zen.
oh, good. The kit you have is everything you need. The kit you have is everything you need. I just wanted to go over some of the fun things I have. I know that some of these companies really try to upsell these things. You don't need them. I just really enjoy the light just because of my circumstances. Sometimes I'm, like I said, I'm working in a dark room because everybody else is watching some kind of movie that I'm not interested in.
Yeah.
You know, so that makes it really nice.
About how much does one kit cost?
This whole kit, $12.99.
Okay, good.
That's good.
$12.90. This was on Amazon. $12.99. You can get larger kits that can cost up to $100
Oh,
that are huge. Not willing to invest the time and money at this point in my life on that. Dottie?
Oh, yeah, thank you. You mentioned there are larger, what are these little things called, beads or crystals?
Yes.
What do you call them?
They're gems, rhinestones. It depends upon which one you're getting.
Okay, well, but you said there were larger ones. Would they have a larger pencil to
Nope.
put them on? Same
Nope.
one? Same size?
Yep.
Dang.
So, yep.
Darn.
So I do have a tray here that I got recently. I'm not really thrilled with it. I could put all my beads and I can see all the numbers and I could just pull one out and it's already in the little cups, but it is a little hard to use. So, let's see, as I drop them everywhere. Awesome. So this is the kind of like the pencil you guys got, right? Whoops, there we go.
Yep.
Okay, just has the bigger end. So if I just take it, put some wax on it, then I could just literally pick it up.
Oops.
See how big that is?
Bigger.
So Dottie, I think you're muted.
Grandchildren here.
That's okay.
So I peel this little wax thing, I peel the top off and put the metal tip on it,
Uh-huh.
and that will help pick up the things, right?
So yes, you're going to peel the wax. You're going to put the metal tip into the wax, and then that will pick up all the beads. That will start picking up all your beads.
And does it help with the wider end too, or not?
Yes. So on the other end, you want to put that also. You see, it's covered in wax. You want to put that in the wax, and then you want to do the same thing.
Okay.
Yes. And again, the small one you guys have will pick up anywhere between 3 and 5, depending upon how the beads are lined up in the little tray.
Mine picks up a maximum of 3.
mine too.
Listen to the wax.
Practice.
Every time you want to pick up a bead, you tip it into the wax thing?
Oh, no.
No.
No, I would do
Like,
anywhere between, I mean, you kind of have to gauge it on how sticky it is, but I think I want to do it every 7 to 10 times.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes a little bit more if something's going on and I'm not paying attention, sometimes a little bit less.
Okay.
So just kind of judge it. You will see that it will pick up. If it's not picking up, okay, there's two things to do if it's not picking up. I do this constantly. First, make sure there's no bead at the end, because I will constantly pick up a bead, and then I think I've placed it and I'll try to go pick up another bead and I can't. And I will notice there's a bead on the end. I've done that a few times. So, and again, just it's a other nice thing to do if you wanted to concentrate on one section at a time. You know how we cut it in threes? Then cut it across the center. Then what you can do is you have like little squares you can concentrate on. And once that square is done, you take off that whole plastic because there's no sticky stuff left. So you can do little tiny squares. You can say, okay, this week I'm going to do this little one and then I'm done. Put it aside. And then next week I'm going to do this little one. And then that way it's not so overwhelming.
Oh, whoops. Shoot.
Wait, Dottie, did you have another question? No. Okay. My grandson's downstairs. I don't have to worry about it. How's everyone doing?
That takes a lot of time.
It takes
It
patience and time.
Time, patience.
Yeah.
It is fun. All right. So before we're getting close. Okay. So before we end, we're going to talk about one more thing. That is finishing one up. And this one right here is finished. Now, I always had a small worry about, I've worked with beads and I've worked with, well, mainly it's the beads parts that I worry about. The embroidery and the cross stitch is usually fine, but I had a worry about these popping off.
Yeah.
Because when I was doing it, it felt like, okay, they're stuck on here. I took that book and I shoved that book on here and I made sure that, you know, it was flat. But after a couple of years, I was kind of afraid that they would pop up. So what I found out was that yes, indeed, they will. So trick to avoid all that. Mod Podge. Yes, Mod Podge. This one happens to be Super Gloss Brilliant. And the reason why I use this one, it is a blue and orange color label. It's just the Mod Podge, and it's again, Super Gloss Brilliant. And the reason why I use this is you can kind of see the beads on here are still shiny. If you buy one of the regular ones, it will actually dull the beads. The easiest way to put this on is with a brush like this. This is it, just this little tiny brush. And all you have to do, I poured some of this into a little cup. I dipped it in. I started from the top and just went down. Dipped it in, started, kept going. And I did it section by section and I let it dry for a few days. And it's still kind of bendy, so you don't have to worry about it. Does that make sense there? Just kind of bendy, no big deal. And then it's done. Now, how you want to hang this is up to you. You can buy canvases, and these are actually a little bit bigger, but I wanted to show you what the canvas looks like. You can buy canvas that's, you know, the right size, put it on here, or actually even a little bit smaller. I would buy one that the one I did was actually smaller. And the reason for that is then you can wrap this around and kind of like glue it. The other thing you can do, you can cut, because you no longer need this. You can cut all the way around and literally just do another glue on the bottom and put it on there. You can do, I would not recommend a super glue or a Gorilla Glue. That's kind of going a little overboard. If you wanted to do that, I would just use I used a regular Elmer's, the regular school glue. Now I can't think of the name of it. Elmer's school glue. The other thing you can do, yes, and it will work, hot glue gun. And it stays on, and then you're done. And then you can either hang it. This is one of those where you can either hang it from the back here, just put a nail up or something, or you can tie a string to this, staple it in, put it all in, and then hang it from that. Either way is fine. It depends upon how you want to hang it. You can get a frame for it and put it in a frame. The only thing is with the beads, you want to make sure that there's a little bit of room between the glass and the cardboard in the back. That would be the only big thing, but otherwise it doesn't hurt anything. It's not like it's going to break the glass or push the glass forward like the lovely bookmark will do for paper. I love the bookmark, you guys, and I know that would seem very simple for a kid to do, but once they start putting it in a book, especially if you're borrowing it from somebody, it just makes bumps everywhere. So I really wouldn't recommend them, though they are fun to do. I have not tried a mask yet. They just came out with masks that you could put beads on, and I have not tried that yet. I'm not sure how that would work. So I just saw that the other day. I doubt I will be investing in that. Oh, Kathy, I think you're mute.
Nope.
Kathy, I can't hear you. You're mute.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? No?
Oh, there you go. Yes. Wait, you're mute again, Kathy.
All right, how about there?
There you go.
Wait, okay. All right. As I'm looking at this beautiful scene, am I looking at a copy of a painting, or is this just a street scene, let's say in Paris, or is this that museum downtown where they have all the lights that look like this? I'm trying to figure it out. Do we know?
I don't know. This could definitely be one of the paintings that they have. There's a whole series of these. I had the one that I showed you that I finished. There's this one. There is a whole series of these type of street scenes. So it could be actually some of the paintings. There is also, one of our other options was the paintings of Van Gogh.
Oh, okay.
We happened to choose this one. Again, I've done something very similar to this, like I showed you before, and it just turns out really beautiful.
Yeah.
So I wanted something that you guys could have time to work on over the next, month or so, and have it like just really be absolutely beautiful when you're done.
Yeah. We should get together in another month or 2 or 3 and say, how's everyone doing?
And see where everybody's at. I wouldn't mind. We can do a check-in. I'd like to see where everybody's at and how they're doing.
Yeah. Wow.
I think getting a better tool would be really helpful. Like something bigger, like you said.
Yeah, I like this one. Sorry. Oh, here, this is better. That other one lights not so well. I like this one only because it's a lot thicker.
Yeah.
And again, most days I'm totally fine. Sometimes though, I have arthritis in my hand. I've had since I was a kid. And when it rains, I know I need this. It's just that simple. And then I just ordered the extra tips for the back so I can do large amounts at one time. So if you guys look at like where the first light post is right in front of you, you'll see 3 sections where it's a V, which is going to be the white color. That's a perfect spot to use one of those large things at.
Yeah.
Because right there. And again, the lamppost going down, just turn it sideways
Sure.
and go down.
It'll go down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it could be really pretty when you're done, or even in a section if you finish, but it's time consuming.
Once it's time consuming, but if you can get time a little bit for yourself every week, I would prefer every day if that would be my goal. It really is kind of relaxing. You really are starting to concentrate on something. I put music on and I just dive down into it and ignore everything else around me.